Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Very pleased to be able to sit down with Simon Yu of Storm here. He is the CEO and co-founder of Storm, and I'm glad to have the time to talk about Storm and his experience in cryptocurrency. So Simon, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks, Justin.
Highly appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So for everybody watching who doesn't know who you are, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so we've been building this mobile application called Storm Play for about 4.5 years. Our job is to try to give people, exposure to cryptocurrency without having to, risk or buying it from an exchange. I think there's plenty of opportunity where, without having bank accounts, there is this potential of reaching billions of people across the world. But if it all comes to trading, not too many people have that opportunity to be able to do so. And so, for us, we were able to send, payments halfway across the world with minimum costs. And so we decided to jump in on this journey. I quit my day job as banking. And this has been like half a decade building this product, and so far it's pretty cool. We built this first product that allows you to get cryptocurrency rewards by checking out different products and services. So let's say you want to try out like Airbnb, Uber, you want to try a game or like ask surveys for the first time, we'll give you $3, and we can do that in the form of crypto. And we're about to launch this new product called Storm Shop, which allows you to earn cash back from shopping on sites like Best Buy, Macy's, or Lenovo by just getting crypto back for each time that you make a purchase. Yeah.
So the mission is to get people into cryptocurrency without having them to go through an exchange.
So our overall mission is to give people more money.
I like that mission.
Yeah, so I mean,
go on.
If anybody just needs money, and I think, even if looking back in Silicon Valley at some of the more successful startups like Uber and Airbnb or even e-scooters, right? The other side of the marketplace, they're trying to give people a way to have secondary income. So our 3 products, so we're now launching the second of our 3 products, but they are all focused around how to give people the ability to earn more from the stuff that they do anyway, right? So the first one, it was more on incentivizing people's time for checking out different things, just buy stuff that they would have done anyway. The second is if you're gonna shop, if you need to buy stuff, instead of the advertisers paying the companies like Facebook or Google to market, you can just pay the users directly. So we're funneling that money into the users directly for, and giving that money back to the users as well. And our third product will be more towards the freelance gig economy as well. So overall, our mission statement is how can we better the lives of people around the world.
And you're incentivizing people to earn cryptocurrency from doing things that they'd already do with the case of your first product,
Correct.
Which is the Storm app.
Correct.
And that is, if I want to check out Netflix, I'm already going to go to Netflix. Go to Netflix through Storm,
Yep.
And I get some crypto on top of that.
Exactly. So why did, Netflix would already spend that money advertising to Facebook or Google or a bus ad or anyway. Why does that have to go to the companies? Why can't it just go directly to the user if their end goal is to try to get more user signups, right? So we found that opportunity, and then we're giving the users their share of what they deserve. Yeah.
So taking the money that would have gone to an advertising company and giving it to the person to incentivize them to come onto the platform.
Correct. Yeah.
So you feel that the model of come sign up for us and we'll give you $20, you think that works?
Well, it's part of, in stages, right? So overall, that is a big opportunity where global advertising is a $600 billion industry. So if we can take a small portion of that, give some of that back to the user base, it was a good opportunity for us to be able to start. But we're going to continue evolving the way that people can earn money through different avenues. So the second product is through shopping, and we have a very big brands that I haven't announced yet, but brands that you would use almost daily, just by shopping, you can earn back money that would have been spent on advertising anyway, but the user doesn't even realize that they were supposed to get. And then we can also connect the freelance platforms as well. So if you have a different skill set, like being a backend developer or a designer or a salesperson or something like that, we can connect you through our marketplace as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the Storm token. You guys did an ERC20 token.
Correct.
You're running on top of the Ethereum blockchain, which is what settles all the transactions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, explain that to me. What is a transaction when somebody goes into the Storm app and uses that? How does that interact with the chain programmatically? What's going on there?
No, and it's been actually a pretty valuable lesson. So I think we launched our crowd sale back when it was the peak, end of 2017. Everyone's creating like a payment token for this or that or all these different things. So we actually, I'm very proud to say we're one of the few companies that actually launched a decent utility for both sides in terms of like we have plenty of advertisers. We also have over 2.5 million downloads so far in our app, right? But the problem is, still with user experience, it's really tough to try to get people involving in cryptocurrency as the main payment channels, for example. So even though we have plenty of demand on both sides, where we really ran into issues were with the advertisers. In order to get them to purchase Storm, they'd have to go through like Bittrex or Binance, go through KYC. Accounting, it's a disaster. The user experience is terrible. They don't none of their accounting team of these large companies would ever want to do that. So, first step that we're taking is we found a really great partner after all this time has passed. There are some really cool companies that have built an easy fiat on-ramp that allows these kind of companies to be able to purchase, like Storm tokens and be able to send it to users directly. And so we're very proud to be able to announce that pretty soon. And the second is, we really thought about how consumers can better use our token with our product. So even though our product has plenty of users, if it's just a payment channel, it's sort of, you can use anything. But we wanted to evolve it, and so for Storm Shop, the more Storm tokens that you hold, you'll have better access, better cashback, better features that only people that have Storm tokens are eligible to receive. And so instead of receiving like 2% cashback from Best Buy, you could be eligible to receive like 5 to 7%.
That's right.
Yeah, and so that way people are actually motivated, and when they earn Storm tokens, it's more like, hey, I am becoming a loyal member of this product. I will continue using it. I will evangelize it because the more tokens that I earn, it's going to be worth more to me coming back again.
And that's the economics of the token, is that you get rewards on the platform, you get access to more rewards. Therefore, individuals will be choosing that payout in Storm, incentivizing them to hold Storm because they're actually seeing the economic reward for doing such a thing.
Yeah.
What are you guys currently working on now? Like, what's the next big thing for Storm?
Yeah, so our second product is taking most of our focus right now, so Storm Shop. We've already onboarded 600 different brands, so you can earn crypto and soon cashback as well too for shopping at any one of the 600 brands. We have actually 1,000 more pending. So our goal is to try to have at least 2,500 different brands by the end of this year. And then we'll actually be integrating other tokens as well too. So we've only had Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Storm as rewards so far, but we plan to expand that just because there's a lot of cool projects out there, and then we should really let the user choose what they want to, right? So yes, Bitcoin is king right now, but maybe somewhere along the line you're interested in DeFi, so you want to have ETH, or you want to have a different token, for example, or you're just interested in this other cool project that came out. But giving the flexibility to the user is really one of the unique aspects about what we do.
And that's what's currently available in the Storm app to get paid out in Storm, Bitcoin, and Ethereum currently, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And any that you're planning on adding?
Yes.
Kind of what's next on the crypto list?
Yes. So as I just mentioned, we're planning to expand that to allow the users to be able to control what kind of cryptocurrencies that they want to withdraw.
Receive.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're in a really interesting time with cryptocurrency right now.
Yeah.
And Bitcoin being the weather vane and being what everybody talks about. Obviously, we had a big run up in 2017.
Yeah.
A lot of projects get launched. And then 2018 was a fairly crippling bear market for a lot of people. What did Storm do during 2018?
We just built. Yeah.
Just built?
Yep, we built.
Put your head down and built.
Yeah, so there's a lot of noise, obviously, right? And unfortunately, with having a token that fluctuates in price, we were caught at the wrong end of that as well too. However, I think anyone that has been following the project, has been using our application, has really seen how much we've spent time in building. And we started in 2014 too. So like between 2014 and 16, it was sort of a similar process. Bitcoin was just flat at 400 for a long time, right? It would go down maybe $100 up or down. But after Mt. Gox was quiet, we just spent a lot of time building. And then when that 2017 sort of boom hit, because we already had the infrastructure set up, we were ready to go. And our users just flew. We were able to sign on a ton of advertisers. We were able to just raise like seed funding and equity funding and just continue growing the company as well too. So as of right now, this is a really great time to build. And I think the companies that have been putting their heads down and actually building, by the next cycle, we're going to see some really exciting stuff happening.
Now it's 2019, and we've had a little bit of a rise in the crypto markets. A lot of people are happier. A lot of people are excited, kind of unthawing from the crypto winter, as it seems. What do you think's next on the horizon for us? Are we? I don't want you to make any speculations about price. I don't think that's your. But you said you had a background in banking, so generally that gives somebody kind of an eye. Where do you think we're at? Kind of in the crypto space.
I think this natural accumulation seems a lot more better. I mean, natural. Some people have theories for like what happened,
sure.
But look at how much has evolved since even 5 years ago. How many institutions are in there? China, the governments now, and like Facebook is talking about it with Congress to build a stable coin. All the major banks have some impact with blockchain. It's everywhere. So it's embedded. It will happen eventually. We don't know when. And I think the next wave won't be really driven by the startups, trying to launch crypto projects. It's the projects that have been fortunate enough to launch a few years back, or the major enterprises, right? And they're the ones that are going to drive this huge adoption. And I'm pretty excited, and that's why we did spend quite a bit of time, and just continuing to build this project. Yeah.
The narrative seems to be institutions are coming, like Bakkt would come in and save the day. Do you feel that that's the case, that it will be institutional money that kind of leads to the next wave of cryptocurrency, or is it going to be retail like 2017?
I think it'll be a mix of both. We haven't actually seen real institution money flow in.
That's right. People think that we have, but we have not.
Right. It's nowhere close. Fidelity, Bakkt, the volumes are so low right now that it doesn't even leave a dent anywhere. But if we see, Wall Street's true volume, and even if we get a small portion of that, it is a big opportunity. And I think one of the reasons I was excited about the space in the beginning was that, back when Bitcoin was, a lot lower, but the payment transaction fees was low. To be able to send, payments halfway across the world is really efficient. But this is really a global opportunity. Like the stock markets is like NASDAQ is typically, limited to U.S. companies, and China has their own. But this is truly a global thing, and that's why it was really surprising to see, that much volume and that much price appreciation happening just from retail, and a very small portion of retail at that as well too. The ones that were willing to experiment and go through KYC, but most people had to explain to their moms and their grandmas how to do this, and it was tough, right? But when that next wave happens, that onboarding experience between exchanges and wallets will be so much easier that there will be more retail people coming, and the institution funds will actually start coming in as well too, because now they have the Bakkt and the Fidelity, and they have these channels to be able to go through easily. And LPs want a certain part of their funds to be into blockchain and crypto projects. Now it's more accessible than ever.
What I find interesting is that a lot of people feel that this latest kind of run-up in cryptocurrency was caused by new investors entering the space.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the on-chain data shows that that's not true. It was mostly US dollar tethered purchases.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Like the current space, is new retail entering in? And also, if you'd like to comment on it, how do you feel about something like US dollar tether? It's a pretty hot topic. Do you think it's good for the space? Think it's bad for the space?
Yeah. I've definitely heard the controversies of tether. I don't typically take a side. I've heard both sides, and but there's so many different stablecoins coming out, and I'm not too worried if Tether disappears tomorrow. I think one of these other stablecoins will take over, whether that's MakerDAO or TUSD or even Coinbase's USDC. There's so many different options, right? And we're seeing JP Morgan's trying to create their own, Facebook's trying to create their own, China's creating their own currency, but that's the focus. So I'm not really worried about whether Tether disappearing or not. It won't make too much of an impact, but. It's interesting overall, but I don't think the institutions have really made that much of an impact yet, because they're very behind the scenes. And then when sort of that market is ready, then they'll take that opportunity and launch at full scale. Right. So we've seen the announcements, but nothing that has really mattered too much. So.
I think it's important for people that are hearing those announcements but not seeing it to think about what it's going to be like when it's not just announcements.
Yeah.
And it's going to come soon. It's going to come very, very
And
soon.
it'll come instantly.
Very quick.
Yeah.
It's a really exciting time to be in cryptocurrency. What do you think?
Yeah.
How do you feel about something like, this is pretty controversial, how do you feel about something like Libra or corporate coins in general? Do you think that's better? And obviously over in China, they're talking about the Chinese renminbi.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's this economic warfare right now between currency, and I think what the governments are realizing is that there's a huge recession coming, and how can they prevent this, and how can they control the money supply so they can print money at will, right? And so it's this ongoing battle between corporations versus governments. But this is a setup for something much bigger, in my opinion. I think this is going to intensify the U.S.-China trade war even further. If China does manage to launch this currency and they're able to take some of the reserve power away from the U.S. dollar, that'll mean a very significant impact on terms of how much power the U.S. has, right? The U.S. has been able to have so much power until recently, for almost the century now, from after World War II, and then that's what really dominated the power because we had the reserve currency. But if that momentum slowly shifts overseas, then what's going to happen? And every time the Fed injects more money or lowers the interest rate, it's not going to be as impactful as before. Well, they just lowered the interest rate again this week, right? So, yeah.
I'll probably do it again here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Things are getting dire.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time to be here, man.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity to be on the right side of history, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Where can people find out more about Storm and get involved?
Yeah, so you can check us out on our website at stormx.io. You can also download our first app that we launched. It's called Storm Play. We're available on both Android and iOS, and keep updated on Storm Shop because we're about to release the open beta pretty soon in the US, and we'll be expanding to other countries as well. Yeah.
Simon, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Justin, thank you so much.